All right, everybody, welcome back to the Grace Notes podcast. I'm Rocky.
I'm Josh.
And I'm David.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about our faith and our love for Jesus Christ, which is our grace section, and the notes section. We're all three musicians where we talk about all things music related that we're looking forward to, where we see the Lord working this upcoming or past week. Boys, how's it going? Welcome to episode 13.
We're here, episode 13. I'm feeling good. David, how are you feeling?
Finals and projects. That's how I'm feeling.
It is that time. It's crunch time at the end of the semester stuff, but we're making it through.
Yeah. We're all a little stuffy right now. We're feeling a little under the weather.
Yep.
It's just that time of year. They came in, they're like, hey, don't get too close. And I was like, guys, I also don't feel good. High five. We can be in the same room together. So that's really exciting. Well, not exciting, but I'm glad that we can all not worry about catching colds from each other because I'm pretty sure we're already sick. But you may notice the audio sounds a little different.
Ooh.
We're hoping it sounds better or fresher. We're still figuring out the fine settings. We may have been working on audio for way too long before the podcast started. Nothing like a mid-evening crisis.
It was a number of minutes.
It was a number.
A good while.
It was a good while. But hopefully we'll keep refining it week after week as we've done in the past. So exciting week. We're finishing Pastor Josh's book. And we are so excited to talk about weakness today when we get to the book club section. So let's get started. Grace section. No roundtable this week discussion. So who wants to kick us off with our two questions that we always ask, which are, what is one way God has moved in your life this week? And what is one thing God has been teaching / showing you this week?
I guess I can go ahead and start.
All right.
So it's been a wild roller coaster 2 weeks with performances and projects and finals and all that things that happen at the end of the school year. And he's been showing me and teaching me the same thing at the same time, basically, where I just need him more than ever. It really is just the case to where I was trying to do everything on my own strength, and I didn't. Last week was a week where I didn't really read the Bible that much, and same with this week as well, unfortunately. And I was trying to do it on my own power, and God just showed me that, as we'll talk about today, just I need him more than ever, and through community and through friends and through people that I can trust. It really showed through that. And it's just something we all got to work on individually, and just being aware of that and not letting it go too far, because that's when the devil wins, unfortunately. And so it's been a tough battle, but we're almost at the end of it.
Yeah.
And we're getting through it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was that both or just?
Yeah, that was basically both, because it's just showing me, and he's showing me some new endeavors and stuff like that too. And just showing me new things I'm passionate about through this trouble, and it's really cool to see new things that I'm liking and new discoveries about myself that I didn't know. And so it's we're making it through, and it's gonna be good. We're here and we're talking about it, and yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, and I think the first step with things like that is to talk about it too, right? Because all too often I've had moments like that where I'm in the same boat, but I just kind of keep it to myself and isolate myself and my thoughts, and it ends up being a place where ultimately the enemy can come in and do what he wants to do. So the fact that you're bringing these things up is really good, I think.
Yeah.
I think the Pastor Josh had talked about us under the service, where he was finding that person to vent to, or I can't remember who was it that exactly said it. It might have been Pastor Josh, but having that person to go and vent to someone about, it can be about anything, and being able to just talk it out to someone and let it, even if they're just there to listen, is always good to find.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of goes back to, I guess we're to take this further, to talking about posting on like social media. We talked about that many episodes ago.
We did.
Like talking about bragging about things, whatever. I guess in the opposite sort of realm, like a lot of people like to put all their stuff out on Facebook, like all of their, like you read that, you're like, oh, okay. Having that one person to go to that isn't the internet, really healthy outlet just in general. But speaking about, our need to find our person, the person that we can confide in. I think it's a really great thing. And then of course, whether or not you're ready for the advice of that person is what follows. You might just need to, put in your little journal app or talk to whoever and be like, okay, I know what I need to do. I just need to talk about it. I'm good. Yeah.
And I also think just as men, that's harder for us to do because we kind of want to like present that we can carry all the things.
We got it all together.
Like, we're all set. We're strong. But as we'll get in, I don't want to give too much in the book club section, but Pastor Josh kind of debunks that argument pretty quickly in the chapter. I'm very excited to talk about that too.
Yeah, I can't wait. But I'm also really sad that we have to finish the book today.
I know it's the last chapter. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, if you're just listening for the first time,
you got some catching up to do.
You got some catching up to do. Yeah, for sure. We'll talk more about that when we get there.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's been showing me and teaching me this week.
Okay. I don't mind going next.
Cool. That sounds good.
All right. So for my grace section, what's one way God has moved in my life this week? I got a quick anecdote for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
So we just finished testing earlier this week. Okay. And there's been a recent, like I see this almost like every couple of years or every year, it depends, but there's like a resurgence of children pretending that notebook paper is stacks of cash. And like, not just like a little bit like playing house, but like they're actively like either giving it away to people like they're Mr. Beast, or they are like coveting it like it's actually worth something. And I'm sitting there, I'm not saying anything to these kids. I'm sitting there like it's post-test and a teacher's gone to turn in the testing materials, and I'm sitting there watching, and they're like folding this notebook paper into like stacks of fake money. But they're like really like holding on to it, and I'm like, man, it's not even green. I'm like, they're just obsessed with notebook paper. I'm like, it's paper. It has no value whatsoever. But they're holding on to it like it's everything. And that's when like the Lord said, ding dong. And
he said that verbatim. Ding dong.
He said ding dong. No. What was crazy was he was like, you do realize the money that you hold on to is literally just also paper, but like humans have assigned a really big value to it. And that's not saying that money doesn't open doors for people and allows you to do certain things. Money allowed us to have this 3 mic setup, but like coveting it and holding on to it and loving money, like it's just paper. It's not going to change your life. It's not going to do what only the Lord can do for you. And that was such a cool moment where I was like, oh, man, these kids they're being so ridiculous. And I go, oh wait, actually we're all kind of like this with like green paper, here in the United States. So I felt
like
that
imagination.
exactly.
Yep, exactly.
So I took that to heart, and I was like, talking about for beauty and for glory, sometimes I struggle with spending. I don't want to say extravagantly, because I'm not like, let's go buy the Taj Mahal, like, but I mean like splurging a little bit or doing something just for the sake of glory and beauty, like talked about in the temple. And so being able to go, it's just paper, and I'm not sitting here spending it like, let's blow it all, like it's just this is a nice moment. Let it be a nice moment.
Right.
Without feeling like I have to save everything. Still being wise while still getting to spend. So that was just a cool thing that he showed me this week in the midst of the craziness of testing. I was like, what a cool thing. And then, because a kid literally had come up to me afterwards and said, money's paper. And I was like, okay, I see, yes. Lord, I see what you're getting at here. And what is one thing God has been teaching and showing me this week? It's just how to be still and kind of wait on him.
Yep.
And like maybe not even saying anything, like I alluded to in our bonus episode last week. It's just waiting on him, letting the distractions of the world and even my own thoughts and needs kind of dissipate. And I'm not perfect at it, but being able to just fully be present with him and just hear what he has to say. And like a lot when he spoke to Elijah in a still small voice, like he had to, like everything had to be calm for that to happen. Like we'll talk about in book club. It's the same sort of thing. So when I read that this week, I was like on point.
If you couldn't tell already, we really like this last
We really like
chapter.
the book. Free on Spotify as an audiobook if you have premium. And the last thing, we've all been learning this since Sunday, but the importance of intercession as well. Our church really took a focus onto intercession this past week, and it's a game changer. I've been trying to intercede for as many people as I can think of during the week, and just standing in the breach so that we talked about Moses interceding for the people of Israel when the Lord was about to wipe them out and start over with Moses on Mount Sinai. And he basically said, let me alone so I can do this. And it was an invitation for Moses to intercede, stand in the gap. Not that he's perfect, but go, hey, don't do this. These are your people. These are the things you've promised us and them. This is for your glory and our good. So let's not, let's not do that. And the Lord hears that prayer. And we have to, like we talked about in our prayer episode, and our prayer is fervent. We have to expect that it's going to do so. Our prayer is important. We have to act like they actually matter. Our prayers matter, because it can't just be some waft that goes up and then we'll see what happens, like a letter to Santa, sorry. I was thinking about that episode of SpongeBob.
That's the same thing. They launched the bottles
upwards. That's what I was thinking about.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I don't know how much of that influenced my early Christian view, but yeah, it's not like that at all. Our prayers are very important. So we have to act like they are and be expectant, and know that interceding is a huge deal to stand in the breach for people that don't let God alone. He likes it when we bug him. Quote unquote, bug him.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
that's me this week. It's been a really fun, condensed week.
There you go. I guess that leaves me for my portion of the grace section of the podcast. The first question is, what is one way that God moved my life this week? And I'll put two things. First of those, I would say he eased my nerves very much so throughout my comprehensive exams. I had my oral comps. Oh goodness, it was not this past Tuesday, but the Tuesday before it. I have passed, so that is amazing. Glad that went well and all the things. In some ways, it was all that I was expecting, and also all the things I was not expecting, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, definitely does.
Great. So that was good. I also put that I've noticed that he's been present in all of my recent conversations at the school, whether they're with my current students or other colleagues. I can just tell that he's moving in those conversations just based on how the conversations end, or how one person, whether it's myself or the other person, is lifted up through that. So I would say that's how he's moved in my life. And then one thing that he's been teaching / showing me this week, I've been honed in on this phrase that is, or I guess it's a phrase, good people. Hold on to the good people in your life. Life's full of many people. And I think you can go through life with 2 or 3 what I call good people. And it's kind of what David was talking about. The people
He said it to me today.
Yeah, I did. The people you can vent to. The people that I also call them the 3 a.m. friends.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Oh boy, 3 a.m. Yeah, there's always a SpongeBob reference or a Pokemon reference on these.
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere. But those people that you can call at those times, and they will always show up. You got to surround yourself with those kind of people. That's what makes true community. And they support you through all that you're going through, while best motivating you to seek God and through Jesus Christ. That's the big thing. Holding you accountable and just consistently reminding you to do all the things. I can think of a handful of people, Rocky and David included, that fit in that category. And while I can count them on one hand, I am content knowing that those are my, what I call good people. And I think whoever those people are in your lives, hold on to those people for dear life. Just hold on to them.
Yeah.
A lot of people can give advice, but they leave out the God portion of it and the Christian
100%.
portion of it, and that's when it really becomes fruitful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like completing a puzzle, but without the centerpiece, you know?
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Put that on a shirt, and hopefully the audio got picked up on that, because that'd be sad if it wasn't. We were trying a bunch of things, so
Completing the
hopefully.
bingo board without the free space.
Oh.
Ooh, David. Yes.
All right, and I've got my
David,
beret
everyone.
on. We're gonna get turn the lights down a little bit.
Everyone
and it's
snap for
poetry night.
David. Everyone snap for David.
Snapping.
Everyone snap for David.
Yeah,
If I was doing something to me, I don't know what it is.
man, you have so many avenues that you could go into now, David. We were just talking about it before the podcast.
He's gonna go into slam poetry.
It's it. We're gonna show up and David's in a beret and just like,
The bongo.
free space. He's got the bongo
bongo.
playing ready. Yeah, it's wonderful.
But that's what he's been teaching / showing me this week. Also, just again, the importance of specific prayer. There are a lot of things that I've been praying about concerning my job, concerning school, concerning relationships that I've been very specific about. And he has been moving so much in all of those things in very, very marvelous ways. And I think that all is indicative of the specificity. Is that a word?
Yeah, that's a word.
Great. Awesome. Of those prayers. Because before, we kind of talked about in the prayer episode of kind of falling in that habit of being like, thank you, God, for this food before us. And that's like it. And then you kind of repeat that prayer over and over again. It just kind of becomes empty because it becomes habitual. But if you're specific about the things, like God will honor that as you bring all the things to him rather than just do it to do it.
Perfect. Well, I guess that means it's time for trivia. Boys, it's so interesting to be back
It's been a while.
from the trivia sound, but also me in the saddle giving trivia.
The new trivia sound,
the
by the
new-
way, the new and improved,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
they've not heard it yet.
Nope. Nope. The trivia, and now the trivias. We're at 0-0. So let's see how many points we can stack up today, boys. All right. Many countries. Oh, this is, by the way, it's a U.S. history question.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes.
Uh-oh.
So we talked a lot or a little bit about money and the love of money earlier today in the gray section.
Uh-huh.
Many countries devalue or retire old currency designs. In the United States, what is the oldest year printed on a dollar bill that can still be legally used at a store today? Closest without going under wins. When I say under, I mean like old. Like if let's say the year is 2060 and you guess 2059, then you would not
Like
get
1,000 would be under.
Yeah, 1,000 would be under. So
I
don't,
shouldn't guess 2.
no, don't guess 2. You want to go back as little as possible without going over.
Jesus time.
The United States,
Before
by
cash.
the way, the United States was founded 250 years ago this July. So just let that sink in.
Oh, goodness. Gracious. Goodness.
Yeah, so we'll let them ponder that. And the answers will be at the end, as always, and we'll be right back after this short break. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Grace Notes podcast. So, boys, I went to Disney World probably about a year ago, maybe-ish, sometime in the last year. And I remember being so excited to meet Captain Hook. We were going to a character meet and greet. Captain Hook from Peter Pan.
I do like Captain Hook.
I feel like Captain Hook was just such an influential part of my childhood. And so he was clearly excited to meet me too, because when we got up there, he like took his hook and like pointed it in my face and like moved it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very, very, very excited about it. And I was like, hey, move your hook, bub. And that reminded me of... Again, if you want better transitions to book club, we invite you and implore you to leave a comment.
And that was one of our better ones.
What a way to finish the chapter.
What a way
to
to
finish
way.
the book.
If you want to hear a good transition, go to the last episode.
Yeah.
I don't think I've laughed that hard in a very long time.
Shook nub
Joking nub.
of a pencil. No, it is eraser.
It was the silence after that got me.
Speaking of small, feeble erasers, let's talk about chapter 10 of The Man for the Day, the final chapter, Weakness.
Weakness.
And if you're just now joining us for the first time, welcome. But also, what are you doing? Go back and listen to, I think it starts on episode 3. I think that's right.
That sounds right.
Whatever's titled The Man for the Day, we are going a chapter a week. And you can follow along, read it. We invite you to read at home. It's also available for free on Spotify. If you're a premium user, you can listen to the audiobook. But it's The Man for the Day, Answering the Call to Godly Manhood by J. Josh Smith. And we invite you to listen to that. And then we're now in the final chapter talking about weakness.
And we're going to find new ways to help you guide to where that starts, because I know it can be hard to look through.
Yeah, we're going to try to go back and comb through some episodes, especially this summer when things are a little more free.
Right.
Or maybe sooner than that, depending on how things calm down. But just go through and update timestamps, because they do automatically go into Spotify and Apple, but they're not always like super...
It's based off like words
that we use.
Yeah.
It's smart, but it's not that smart.
Yeah.
And YouTube just doesn't have anything.
Yep.
At least that I'm aware of. Might go back and check later episodes for the automatic ones. But we can go back and make sure we're more diligent about that. And if you're interested in us taking out the book club segments as a separate thing, and like after we're done with the book and put them into a playlist that's just book club about the book, and we can just have them roll, we may do that as well.
Yep.
We and David had talked about that earlier this week on our lovely run last Saturday.
Not so lovely with the humidity.
Yeah, it was a little
humid.
humid. It was a little humid. We were a little slower. Our hearts were a little faster, but that's okay.
Yep.
Get those heart juices flowing. Oh, also known as blood.
Yeah,
All
right.
right.
Let's say it's called blood.
Speaking of running, weakness. Finding strength through embracing the depth of your neediness is how Pastor Josh defines weakness. So, boys, I'll kick it off to you. What did you find interesting in this final chapter that Pastor Josh leaves us with?
I found it interesting that in some ways it was extremely profound, but in other ways it was also super simple. Because with something like this, I tend to overthink it. But there are several times where Pastor Josh is like, well, the reason that this is because of X. And that's it. That's the only reason. And that kind of goes into his idea of if we're like spiritually and physically and mentally tired, we need rest. And that's it.
Like that for me, well, it sounds so simple. It sounds so incredibly simple. But I was reading this, and I just happened to be reading it during an extended break I had at work, and I was just like, I need to rest.
Yeah.
Like I'm so tired right now. Like why have I been I've been running and it's just so profound yet so simple.
Yeah.
Like just take a break,
Mm-hmm.
take 2 naps and eat 2 hot meals, and it's so very possible for us to be spiritually, emotionally, and physically exhausted.
Yep. And I gotta say, finding that rest as a doctoral music student may be one of the most challenging things on the degree. It's hard. But like finding that time, like it seems so simple. But I don't know. It's something that we all kind of struggle with because we're all needed on all these different areas and different places. Like I'm a teacher and I'm a performer, and I also arrange sometimes and compose too. So it's like, how do I do all those things and do my other stuff and then find rest in the process? Like it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, Rocky was alluding to 173, 7 words that Pastor Josh wrote down: sleep, eat, and get along with God. So all we need when we're tired.
I love
and
that.
exhausted.
Yeah. And I believe there was a section. Oh, that's the section where he just talked about speaking to Christian school teachers at the end of the school year. And I was like reading this and I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling it. It's the end of the school year right now. And yes, sleep, eat, and get alone with God. And like it, again, simple but profound.
I want to go back to like the beginning of this chapter because I found this detail like crazy. Top of page 164, Pastor Josh talks about how he was in this state where he was physically, emotionally, and spiritually exhausted. He writes at the end of that top paragraph on 164, I was in the darkest place of my life and wanted nothing more than to leave the ministry. That is insane to me.
I know. I kind of think about Pastor Josh in a lot of ways, like Elijah.
Yeah.
With less fire coming down on altars. And
right.
being taken up and, disappearing into heaven. I just think about him as such a strong, inspirational leader within the church, and just how talented he is and is blessed with the ability to speak publicly. Like, it's just crazy how, like, we speak on this podcast and, like, we have multiple takes sometimes of some things when we just can't get it right. And
true.
Or Lord knows how long we have to spend setting up audio when we buy some new piece of equipment.
At least 3 minutes.
At least 3. But he just gets up there, and I have no idea what his prep is. I would love to ask him. But like 13 episodes into our podcast, we're not even can come close to comparing to how he just speaks consistently and inspirationally to people. And to hear that he wanted nothing more than to leave the ministry, like, made me, in the same way that he talked about Elijah, go, I relate even more to him now because of his humanity.
Right.
I mean, it's just the other word for it is just burnout, which we all focus on.
Oh, yeah.
And just finding all of that to balance the burnout and balance what we're doing.
It is such a real thing. And if you're not finding that time for rest, it can be a dangerous experience. I've experienced it many times. I don't wish it on anyone. It's horrible. It's not a fun time.
It makes us say things that otherwise we wouldn't say, or like we're kind of talking out of our minds because we're so depleted.
And it's in those moments where Pastor Josh talks about it too, where the enemy wants to strike us the hardest.
Because he doesn't get tired.
Because he does not relent. Mm-hmm. He waits till we're at our lowest and weakest, and then he strikes.
Correct.
Like, it's such a reminder for us to just stay on guard as much as we can, even in those moments where we are exhausted, like going to the Lord and spending that time with him.
And being aware.
Aware
is half the battle, and then seeking the Lord at the same time. And also finding that rest. Mm-hmm. So you can recharge.
Yep. Pastor Josh does a great job of kind of putting into perspective this idea of weakness kind of showing up with Elijah, where Jezebel, page 165, she was determined to kill Elijah. And he also had just defeated 450 false prophets. He called down fire from heaven. He slaughtered the prophets. He outran Ahab's chariot. And then when Elijah knew that of this threat from Jezebel, he ran as far as he could. And as readers, it's kind of like, but this is Elijah. Why did he run? He just did all these amazing things. And Pastor Josh also talks about how all men deep down have some weakness, insecurity, something that if not handled, it can leak in various places. And in this case, that's kind of what happened. I love in 166, top of that page, Pastor Josh, he talks about how he relates to Elijah a lot. He says, I often say that Elijah's my favorite prophet. I resonate with him. I feel like we have a lot of similarities. Sure, I've never called down fire from heaven or slaughtered false prophets, but I have sat under a tree and thought I was worthless. Mm-hmm. I think everyone at some point has a moment like that where they're just kind of like at their end and it's like, I don't know what to do. Like I think that's something that we can all kind of relate to in some way, shape, or form. He goes on in the next paragraph. I'm convinced most men feel deeply ashamed, afraid, and inadequate. That's the word right there. Like they can't do the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that can lead us to one of two places.
Mm-hmm.
It can lead us to run as far away as possible. Or if we're not as depleted, a lot of times if we are looking for it and we are trained to do it, and by the power of the Holy Spirit, we look at our inadequacies as a gift and it points us back to Christ,
right,
and God, and we continue to realize that I can't do this on my own, and thank goodness I'm not perfect enough to.
And wasn't that a whole part of like Ryan Trahan's testimony video as well? He posted a few weeks ago about how he was all these highs and all these highs and like all these successes that he was doing, and then he would found himself super weak and not wanting to do anything. He couldn't find joy in all of that, and then that's when God came into his life. So
Yep.
Yep. It's like you can have everything. You can be in the bed with without the Lord, your inadequacies. I mean, even with the Lord, your inadequacies are still going to show up if you're you forgot that you're human.
Yep.
You have still have to take care of yourself. You can't just go. Not an excuse for laziness, which Pastor Josh does clarify later. But just knowing when to rest is also equally as important. I like the third paragraph on this page. I put a little arrow. Up until this point, Elijah seemed fearless and invincible, but his short prayer exposed unseen things going on in his heart and his prayer to like just die.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just called down fire from heaven, did all these things, and now he wants to die. He struggled with misplaced fears, misplaced strength, misplaced hope, and a misplaced identity. And deep inside, this strong prophet was a weak, insecure, and hurting man. And we should find great comfort in this because even though we may not pray the prayer that Elijah prayed, we can often feel the way Elijah felt.
It's so good. It's so good. I relate to it because I mean I can think of many moments where I felt that same way.
Yeah, I felt it. I mean, I felt it today in my classroom. Like I was spent. Kids are yelling at each other. I kid you not. I literally had a kindergartner like refusing to we had behavior support come and try to remove a student from the kindergarten classroom from within my music room, and I had the rest of the kindergarten students in a circle, and we're like playing this game. And like there's like 4 other adults in the room trying to get this one kid to leave, and it's just like I just felt like not. I just felt inadequate. I felt like I had a really good day with a particular class yesterday teaching, and then today I was like, am I really doing seeking my worth in teaching where it shouldn't be?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, that is such a real thing. Because there'll be classes I teach. I teach oral skills at UGA as a teaching assistant. There are some classes I walk out and I feel fantastic. And there are some classes where I walk out and I feel like I just did the worst job ever. And it's like, I mean, Pastor Josh kind of talks about it too. Going through the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. It's like, we kind of expect something to be a bit more consistent. So that in itself is in a way discouraging. Because it's like, am I doing the things I'm supposed to be doing? Because clearly I had this good experience, but this thing happened. I feel like we tend to focus on the negatives a lot.
We are our own worst critics.
Yeah.
And not just the negative, but the short-term negatives too.
That's a fact.
Like,
yes.
Those just come so much quicker, and we just have to think about it as like just a little blurb in the life that happens. Is just you just can't think too much about it.
There's no command minus sometimes when we make mistakes. We don't like to zoom out on the timeline.
Yup.
We can just see this one tiny segment like Dave was talking about, and we can't think. That's why it's so cool to watch God work over time is like something that like you were like, oh man, like this, that was awful short term. And then you like wait and you see how he's turned. If it weren't for that one thing, this other thing later that was like
right
top of the mountain Elijah moment, like would not have happened without it. And so I think we're living in those moments every day. And I think just waiting on the Lord and letting him show you when you're at your lowest of lows, like you said, turning to him and looking to him during your inadequacies and going, all right, what are you trying to show me? What's next? And listen. And usually he comes in the form of a still small voice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I kind of have a question to pose. So in the second paragraph on 166 at the very end where he says, we all struggle with deep areas of defeat, fear, weakness, and insecurity. Defeat, weakness, and insecurity, I can kind of grasp pretty straightforward of like, okay, this is that, like, this is what I struggle with there. But fear is such a, like, I don't know, it's such a greater magnitude of a word, I feel like. And it's one of those things to where it's like, oh, I'm not really afraid of anything. Like, what is it to be afraid about? And it's like, and that alone is part of the fear that is hiding somewhere that we have to find, I feel like.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
I don't know. This is a formulating thought, so just stick with me.
Yeah.
Maybe fear in that context is not like I'm scared of this thing. It's a thing that you like instinctively pull away from because of some reason that you need to pray about and find. That's my thought, because you see the word fear and you think like you think phobias, right? And you're like, I don't want to be near that thing, but that in itself kind of defines it.
Or afraid of the future or stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the way I perceive that.
Yeah.
I think we do have areas of fear that maybe we aren't aware of, and a lot of times the Lord reveals that to us in ways that we don't always like. And until it's like right in front of you, like right now, I don't have a fear of, going hungry, knowing that I have a fridge full of food. But if I was stranded on a deserted island, I would probably have that fear.
Right.
Puts it in perspective. I don't have a fear of not finishing a 5K race right now because I'm sitting in a chair, not on the racetrack.
Right.
But as soon as we hit that track, tomorrow, I'm not going to say that I have that fear, but it's going to be in the moment. I'll be like, I don't know if I can't keep going. I can't keep up with David. Like that fear's in my head.
It's you're going to hit that time that we want.
Yeah, the time that we want to get tomorrow.
It's almost as if like based on your environment, you're focused on what could go wrong instead of focusing on how God can work in that environment.
Yep. And when you think about the Lord of the universe and prayer, expecting him to do what he is able to do, and not prosperity gospel, but in the sense that the Lord's there, he's going to work and he's going to take care of you, and having the faith to know that your prayer is heard and he is going to do something. He's going to show up. Just having that sort of faith to not walk in that fear, but to go, yeah, I might have like this human fear of this thing happening, but I know the Lord is going to see it through. And if I sit and wait on him, it's all going to be for his glory and my good, whatever happens. So he may not answer prayers the way we think, but he's going to answer, and he's going to do what, can you imagine if Moses calling back to an earlier thing, imagine standing like you are one-on-one with God. Like, first of all, that in itself, there's a healthy fear of the Lord, right? But you are one-on-one. He just said, and you've been following him since this burning bush incident. And he's, you've parted waters. You've done all of these crazy, you've seen all of the signs, the plagues in Egypt. And you get up there and he says, hey, let me alone. Israel is messed up again for like the last time. Like they've ran away from my covenant that we literally just made. I'm wiping them out. I'm going to start over with you, Moses. Part of me would be like, oh, he's going to start over with me? Well, that's great. But then Moses' heart stepped into that invitation. Like the fear to, I don't want to use the word stand up to, because it's not like he's a bully, but like just that confidence in his goodness to go, wait, I want to intercede for these people. And I think, like, please forgive them. Let's work through them for you, what you promised. And knowing those, that's where I think studying the word and all of his promises that are in New Testament and Old Testament, and just the overarching story and character of God, knowing that helps propel us into a place to do those things. Because if we do, it prepares us in the easy moments for when the hard moments hit, because we can fall back on our training. In drum corps, they always used to say, hey, trust your training. Trust your training. When you're nervous, when you're out in front of 100,000 people, whatever, or I guess it wasn't that many, like 25,000 people in a stadium or whatever, like trust the training. And in this case, this is the training. We're knowing his character. We know his promises. We're studying it over our lifetime. So we know him and we've seen how he works. Fall back on that and know that he is going to do something. He is in the moment. Cry out to him and just fully trust in what he's able to do, even if it seems so far beyond your capability. Not prosperity gospel. He's working. You know what he's about. You just don't know how it's going to work out, but it's going to be for his glory and your good. You have to trust that.
Yep. Any moment in which you are fearing something, like not in just like the good fear way, but like a different kind of fear. Any moment you spend in that space is a moment taken away where you could focus on God and look towards him. And already, Pastor Josh talks about it on page 168, second paragraph on the bottom. Many men are going at an unsustainable pace. There's pressures externally like work, family, kids' activities, and travel ball that are constantly making us move. And then there's the internal issues of pride, trying to impress other people, love of money, fear of man that often keeps us overcommitted. And therefore, within that, we've left no place for the spiritual and physical rest that life with God demands. Any of those things that the enemy can pull us away with takes us away from God in that time that we have or could have with him, which is why it's so important to find that rest so you can find him in it.
Yeah.
Well, you pulled the idea away back of fighting the bully, but like you kind of can treat it that way because the devil is the bully, and like the fear in the life that we have, and the thing that when we have a fear, that's most likely the devil putting that in us and trying to get us to go away from God and trying to get us to just the human things of nature and the human side of us and bringing out the human emotion in us. And we have to fight that away and go to God immediately and rest in that thought.
Yep. The enemy is like quick to attack, but he's also sneaky. You know what I mean? Like,
how many times does he quote scripture to people?
Well, here's my thought,
Or
right?
misquote scripture to people.
Right. Well, what if he puts a voice in your head that says you should do this thing and this thing because it's good for you, just to get you away from that rest with God?
He's really good at distracting.
He's really good at distracting you. He is. Like, I'm speaking that as someone who overcommitted to a lot of different things. In my undergrad, I was in 9 ensembles. That is way too many ensembles. I learned from those things, and I'm very glad to have learned those things. But all that time that I was there, in some way, shape, or form, took me away from the rest that God could have provided for me in those times, which realistically, at that time, is what I needed most, not more ensembles.
Same thing for me in being a band director. I still don't know how people do it. I did it for 5 years, and I still... Like, how can you do that, have time for a family, and do the job well, and make time for physical, spiritual rest and time with God?
And retire with it.
And
retire
yeah, right.
at some point. Like, I love getting to go teach, like, band camps. But a side note, like, I don't know how... That's why I'm, like, feel a little stuck in elementary land right now, because it is go, sprint through the day, finish, come home, don't worry about it. Have the whole summer off. Yep. You know? Mm-hmm. So that's why I've been in since I may not love my job the way that I used to love what I got to do when I was a band director, but I also have never been in a better spiritual place or in my relationship with the Lord than I have been since I moved to Georgia and have taken the elementary school job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and I think that's I'm going to say this, hopefully it's not profound. I think that's a far better outcome than liking my work more. You know what I mean? And that's something you think about.
That's the distraction, is trying to like your work.
You're trying to, and every decision I made as a band director, wow, we're getting deep. Every decision I look back and I kept saying, it's for the kids. It's for the kids. Like, it's for the we got to make our program good because the kids deserve this. You know what I realized it was actually about? It was about me.
Real. Mm-hmm. Real.
I didn't want to fail.
Yep.
I wanted to have the best band program. I wanted us to be represented and be recognized. And I wanted to lead a group to do it. And I wanted to be the guy that did it.
Yep.
And I'm really glad I'm not that anymore.
Yep.
And then those tendencies, of course, are still in there somewhere because we live in a broken world. But being able to finally recognize it and just, again, fall into deeper relation with him and find that spiritual and physical rest that is needed, I think. And I think we also didn't really talk about this, but Pastor Josh breaks down, oops, I flipped too many pages. Sorry, y'all. He breaks down what Elijah forgot into 3 different categories.
Yep. We kind of talked about humanity.
Yeah, so we kind of talked about that. He forgot his humanity. We talked about that a little bit. Needing rest. We are all human. The second thing is, and you kind of alluded to this too, is Elijah forgot his adversary.
Yes.
In that case, that, the devil is, when we're at our weakest, he is like, time to strike. We talked about that earlier.
Yep.
And then finally, the third thing If I can find it. 3, finally, Elijah forgot the depth of his dependency.
Yeah.
And we've touched on it a little bit, but for just clarity's sake, I'll read this paragraph. Our first response to Elijah, this is on page 170, by the way, in case you're following along at home. Finally, Elijah forgot the depth of his dependency. Our first response to Elijah running away is, wait, this isn't Elijah. Who is this? The answer, this is Elijah when he forgets his need for the Lord. Raise your hand if you've been there.
I'm raising my hand.
all hands are, it's audio only. Hands are up. And this is every man when he forgets and this is every man when we forget how much we need God every moment of every day.
Absolutely.
And we're always going to fall into that, like in like this time before we are glorified, before heaven is, before we go to glory or glory comes here. Like we are always going to be in some situation where we forget that the Lord is there, and that's when the fear creeps in. It's when all this happens. So I think remembering those 3, obviously take time in your human self to get a nice quick meal, not a quick meal, get a nice warm meal, take a nap, because that's literally what the Lord, I laugh so hard.
I love naps.
Naps are great.
I cannot take naps at all.
Biblically, naps approved.
Naps are biblical.
Yeah.
I tried the other day, 45 minutes, did not fall asleep.
Just got to not set an alarm and then wake up and realize it's midnight.
And you're like, oh, I need to eat dinner.
Take a warm meal, go back to bed. So take rest. Remember, feel like Katniss from the second Hunger Games. Remember who the real enemy is. And then finally, remember that you are completely dependent on the Lord, and you cannot do this on your own.
I also think it's really cool that God reminded Elijah that he was there with him in the big moments, and then he brought him in with that quiet, still voice, reminding him that he's there in the quiet moments too. Yeah. That's just such a cool thing that I think we, all of us and listeners included, need to remember. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people, they kind of assume that God only works in the super big, powerful, cool moments. And you're like, that's God. But he also is in the quiet moments.
Yep. And that was earlier in here too, in the everyday.
Yeah.
And that paragraph, Josh, is on page 170. So after Elijah's second nap and the second meal, he went and hid in a cave. He felt unappreciated, discouraged, and alone. The Lord commanded him to get outside of the cave and stand on the mountain before the Lord. Yep. The Lord passed by in a strong wind that tore the mountains and broke rocks to pieces. But, and this is in quotes, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And then, this is the big thing. And after the fire, there was the sound of a low whisper, a still small voice. And it was in that voice that he heard the Lord giving him direction. It was in that moment that the Lord gave him specific instructions on what was next. And like you said, after all of that stuff that he did, and like earthquakes and the fire and all of that, and he's like, okay, be still. And here's what you're going to do.
Yep.
And I'm not sure that picked up on the audio. And here's what you're going to do. So there you go. Sorry. We're in the thing where there's a threshold now.
You might have heard that twice.
You may have heard it twice. It's not deja vu. So yeah, he had been so used to seeing God in the dramatic, but not now.
Yes.
Now he would only be able to hear the Lord if he listened for the low whisper. And that is significant and so gracious of the Lord. How kind of him to take him to be led to still waters in a metaphorical sense.
And also on page 171, the second paragraph from the bottom before the section titled The Way Out of the Wilderness, Pastor Josh says, God speaks to us in a still small voice because it forces us to be still and quiet. He speaks to us in a still small voice because it is the means by which he gets what he wants most from us, which is intimacy with him. What was the thing that we talked about at the Look to Jesus conference? God's greatest desire is
for us to be his presence.
Yes.
Our
greatest need
is
his presence.
Yeah, his manifest presence, which is like all of it's coming together. It's like, again, we pressed Command minus. Yay! We can see for our non-Mac users that would be Control minus. But it's just so cool to see the whole thing working together.
Yep. And in a practical way, you can think about it as taking care of your soul. Pastor Josh says that phrase at the bottom of page 172. he says, I also need to take care of my soul. I needed to sit, be still, and wait for the still, small voice of the Lord. I needed God to sustain me with a new promise, new hope, and new mercies. I needed to hear from God. And we all need this. And our weaknesses remind us how much we need this. As men, the word weakness kind of makes us cringe a little bit, but it's in those moments where God works through us most.
It's true. Whether we like it or not.
Yep.
It's true. And it's all for his glory and our good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, you got it.
I was going to say the paragraph a little bit before that, the second full paragraph on 172, it shows what a true teacher looks like as well. And it says, there is so much hope and encouragement in the way the Lord dealt with Elijah during these moments. God was so patient and so kind. The Lord did not lecture him. He just led him. Like a good shepherd who knows when his sheep need to be led to still waters. Psalm 23, the Lord led Elijah and restored him just like he does with us. And that right there, God was so patient and so kind. The Lord did not lecture him. He just led him. That is how we should be with others. Sometimes, they need to be lectured, but most of the time, probably, they just need to be steered in a gentle direction.
Yep. We just again, back to band direction, we so value and want control over the situation, whether it be in moments of our weakness or when we're trying to, as teachers, because we all teach.
Yep.
When we want to teach other people in the same way, it's a great model. Not that we can't be the Lord, but we can aspire to be the visible presence of Jesus in our community.
Yep.
And so in our teaching, that's such a great reminder, is like, just maybe don't just steer them in the right direction.
Or they need someone to hear them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that further goes into later on, I think on page 173. When we do find that weakness, we typically like to be left alone. We've talked about how isolation is one of the greatest tools of the enemy, especially for men.
Yes.
And this is again top of page 173. Like we often do, Elijah wanted to be alone and left his servant. But the Lord would not let him stay that way for very long. The Lord led him to Elisha and the school of the prophets to remind him of his need for others. But everything in us wants to neglect the things we need most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just...
And that goes back to what you guys were saying earlier about finding your people and hold on to them.
You have to.
Because they're going to come knocking on your door when you don't want them to. And they're going to help you with through the power of the Holy Spirit to get you out of that funk.
Yep. There was one paragraph that I really wanted to hone in on because this really resonated with me. On the top of page 174, Pastor Josh writes, behind every strong man is a weak man. It is a fact. Behind every facade of bravery, courage, strength, and invincibility is a scared, insecure, and hurting man. And at some point, just like he did with Elijah, the Lord will do something to expose that thing. He has to. And if he doesn't, we can never truly be used by him. Because maybe, just maybe, the secret to being used by God is not the external picture of strength, but the internal reality of weakness. That, I think, it should call out every single man that's listening to this podcast. Because so often we want to present ourselves as like this, like strong, like I got everything, don't worry about me, I'm set thing. But it's and we also don't want our weaknesses exposed. I think Pastor Josh goes on later in that same page to say that same thing. But it's in those moments where the Lord reminds us that we need him most in those moments. So it's almost as if like we need to be super aware of those weaknesses. And then in those moments where we're falling into that, whatever it is, going to him and not to ourselves. Because every time that happens, the enemy will present himself and it's going to be a tough battle if you don't have the Lord, if you're not going to him in that.
Yep. Agreed.
And we're not saying that strength and health is bad. It's just that we can't. It's that external pressure of people wanting us to wanting us to look good for the pleasure of others, and
it's representation.
Yeah.
right? It's presenting
Part,
yourself.
part
as
of
you
the
do
rest is
things.
taking care of your body and doing healthy things.
Yeah,
and
thank you for the
running
clarification.
and fitness and all that stuff too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
super
so
important.
That's part of the rest that we're talking about as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
taking care of yourself so you can be around for the long term
Mhm.
is not frowned upon.
Yep.
Like, don't be a glutton. Like, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. And again, to reiterate, Pastor Josh does say no man should be lazy. I forgot what page that's on in here.
Yeah.
It's near the beginning.
Yeah, it is
somewhere.
near the beginning section, but like, don't confuse this whole rest thing with like just not doing squat.
168.
168 in the middle. Yep.
Yeah. I know men who don't work hard enough. I know some lazy gluttons who need to be constantly told to get to work. The book of Proverbs is clear. These kind of men are a disgrace. There are very few things worse than a lazy man.
Mhm.
There's a difference between knowing you need rest and being a lazy glutton.
Correct.
And oftentimes workaholics, there's no mention of workaholics in the Bible. It's because the people that are workaholics are working really hard at work. However, where are they being lazy gluttons? At home.
Yep. True.
So, men, just be aware of that. And I will be the first to say that, again, as a band director, if you're in the band directing profession, it's very easy to turn into that. How many times? I wasn't married. How many times did I come home from a marching band something or a rehearsal and turn on the TV, sit on the couch, eat peanut butter M&Ms, go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else got done.
Yep.
So, weakness.
Weakness.
I think my very favorite Bible verse is 2 Corinthians 12:9, and of course that spills into 2 Corinthians 12:10. But and Pastor Josh alludes to it. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me."
I mean, it's different now after reading this chapter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like where I fail, I can boast in what God has done. And yeah, this chapter hits different after that.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
just want to make sure I did it justice. Any other thoughts?
I think I'm personally good.
Just got to make sure this kind of weakness drives us into the presence of the Lord.
Yep.
And I think that finishes it up. The man for the day.
We're done with the book.
We're done with the book, guys.
Wow.
Probably will be a reread at some point for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
But I hope you've really enjoyed, listeners, talking about the man for the day and doing book club with us. We're going to take a brief hiatus from book club next and do some other special things that will kind of get worked out. But we will then come back with probably another book at some point.
And to those who have stuck through since the beginning of book club, thank you for sticking with us and listening to this as well. Because as much as we hope that you are learning from this, we're also learning a lot from this as well.
Definitely. And to our female listeners out there too, like we'll probably have a more broad book that's not just for men next
Yes.
time too.
That's true.
Yep. All right. Well, someone want to pray us out? I think it's Josh. You want to take us out in prayer?
I can.
All right.
All right. Everyone, please do as you do when you pray. Heavenly Father, I just thank you in this moment for allowing us to talk about the things that maybe we don't want to talk about on the surface. In moments of weakness, Father, we tend to fall back to ourselves. But I pray that in any moment of weakness or insecurity, we are reminded of you. And in those moments, you overwhelm us with your presence. And we fall back on you and keep our guard up and remember that it's in those moments where the enemy wants to strike us the most. I pray that we're reminded that in the weakness, we have those moments where we realize we need you most. I pray that these moments don't discourage us and distract us from how you have worked and will continue to work in our lives. I thank you for allowing us to do this book club section and allowing us to get through this book. I'm very excited to see what is next in this part of our podcast. I pray that all of us listeners and hosts can take what we've talked about and truly apply it in our lives, and through all of it, glorify you and your precious name. For that is in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I just thought about something while you were praying.
Yes.
Back to Moses.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember when God first chose Moses to, set his people free from Egypt and lead them out?
Mm-hmm.
How he was like, I don't speak well. Like, I don't do it. You don't want me. And then the dude is the guy who's literally talking to God, not only in the bush, but then later on interceding for all these people.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
how crazy is that? That in his weakness, he's literally speaking to the Lord of all creation and interceding for all these people.
Yeah.
With his voice. I don't know. It's just so cool. Again, he will boast all the more in the Lord because of the weaknesses.
Took a long time to do that too. Not
He
just
did.
Not
It
just
was-
instantly.
It was not overnight. It was lots and lots of time, lots of little moments that led to the big moments.
Yep.
So
True.
anyways, I guess it's time for trivia. All right. It's time for this second question. The category is Pokemon
Okay.
Oh, boy.
I feel good
Okay.
about this.
typing.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
Based on Gemini's recollection of the Gen 9 meta.
Oh, no.
These the one generation I didn't play.
Right.
What is the absolute worst combination of typings for weaknesses?
Oh, that's a good question.
And I will tell you, there are 7.
7.
Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correction. There are 6. 6 that are tied for the most weaknesses.
Okay.
And so I will give you a point if you get one of those exactly correct in the combination. You have to get it in the correct order.
Okay.
Because I believe the first one and the second one can't really switch. Like, it has to be in that order, like primary typing, secondary typing. And bonus question as a part of this question, maybe if you're not feeling as confident, because if I were receiving this question, I also would not feel confident. If you can give me, there is a specific type of the dual typings, like the primary typing, that appears in 3 of the 6 as the primary typing. What is that type? Just singular.
Okay. I think I have that one.
Is non-effectiveness at all a part of this list?
Is what?
Just weakness.
Just weakness. Okay.
Just
like
weakness.
ones that don't attack at all. Like they don't work at all.
I don't understand that. What does that mean?
like normal can attack ghost type.
Oh. Okay. I'm
Like-
with you. I got you.
So just weakness. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just the weakness.
I have my answer.
So I'll let them ponder. You play along at home, and we'll be right back after this break. All right, welcome back to our notes section. We're going to talk about how the Lord's moving in music in our lives because we're all musicians. A squeak
We're
bop,
musicians.
ba-doo-bop,
We're musicians.
ba-dee-bop, bow.
Yeah, we're musicians. Yeah, we're musicians.
Musicians. Ba-doom.
I love having 3 mics. We can do that.
Yeah, just wait till we get headphones.
Everyone's sitting there like, oh, my ears.
Yeah. All right, so who wants to kick off? Okay, Josh.
Yes, I will kick it off. So I have a couple of things. Firstly, I went and saw Ray live this past Tuesday, and it was unbelievably good. I got some videos because it was just fantastic. The venue was sold out entirely, and Ray, okay, so her music by herself is fantastic, but the way she presented herself on stage, the variety of genres that she did, and the effectiveness of her performance was just next level. And getting to see that live, the concert didn't end until about 10:45. It was a late night for me. I got home at like 12:30, but it was so worth it. Shout out to my friends Suchi and Jacob for the tickets. Thank you so much.
You may have lost a little bit of hearing.
Oh yeah, I definitely did.
What? Just kidding. I didn't go. I wasn't there.
So that was fantastic. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the success of the Carmen of Burana concert that we had. Oh goodness, that was last week.
That was last
It was
That
last
was a
week.
whole week ago. It was actually at this time we were starting. The choirs at UGA are phenomenal. The ensemble this time around was also phenomenal. They usually are. It was just, everything felt great.
I didn't get a ticket. It sold out before I could get one. But when I watched the live stream, like I was like, this sounds like somebody just went and pressed play on like the recording that people listen to, like the professional recording. So I thought it was really well done. And the UGA choirs seem to have a really fun time on like social media.
Oh, they do.
They've been hitting it off recently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've been like on top of it. The other thing I wanted to talk about was actually a small break that I took from the horn. I took a couple days off because from between the concert and various things, I just decided to take just a little time off and give myself some rest. And
that Kit Kat bar.
every time I hear that, it's a quick aside, I think of the Office bit where it's like,
Oh, it's like, yeah, me too.
It's that fancy feast.
What is it? What was it?
Oh
my
Oh,
gosh.
it's fancy feast. If you get that reference, I'm so glad to hear that.
Nard dog.
Nard. But I actually came back to play my instrument for the first time in a couple of days today. And the first minute or two, it was an adjustment, but I had a small lesson today and I did really well. I was very happy with how things went. And I still learned in the process. And on top of, having a couple days off, on top of not feeling the best with all the sinus stuff, it was reassuring knowing that I could take that break and then come back and still be in a pretty decent spot. Of course, there's some things that I need to kind of like retrain muscle wise because time off. But usually when I take that time off, it's a bit of a longer process to get back into the swing of things. So I feel good about taking that time off. And then my Christian song of the week is Prodigal by Madison, Ryan, Ward, and Benji. And there was one lyric that I wanted to highlight in this song that it very much relates to what we talked about in the book club section. And it says, your love is meeting me where I need it most. I don't need to hide. I was like, hey, that relates a lot to what we just talked about in the book club section. It's a very like smooth, mellowed out vibe song. So if that's your thing, check it out. Prodigal by Madison, Ryan, Ward, and Benji. Also, quick aside, one of our fellow listeners, shout out to Amanda, recommended that we make a playlist that has all of our Christian songs of the week. I think we also talked about that at one point, maybe.
Yeah, our other listener, Sammy, also recommended
That's right, it was Sammy. So shout out Sammy and Amanda. We should do that. I think
Didn't we delegate that to... Didn't we say that you were going to do it? I think we said you were going to... Somebody pull up the clip. Somebody go back and find out.
Clip it.
Hey, you can search a transcript. It'll probably be faster for someone.
Oh, no.
Find out
Did I just out myself?
Who did we decide was doing that? And I know it wasn't
it was
me.
so me. I so I was going to do that.
Hey, in your weakness, remember.
In my weakness, remember. Yes. So it will happen eventually.
It will
It's not like you haven't been busy or anything.
No, not at all. I'm the least busy person. Oh, I can't say that without laughing.
It's okay. We are 13 episodes in, so like that's like 3 times 13 like Christian songs.
39.
Sure, we'll go
Quick
with that.
maths.
I teach music.
Music and math are like
I can
adjacent.
count to 4.
Sometimes 6.
Ta ta ti ta.
Takodimi.
Oh, we don't use that around here.
Oh. Oral skills people do. We love our takadimi.
I like tacos.
I also love tacos. Anyway, I'm pulling this away. Who else is next?
I'll take it and pick that up.
There you go.
So
Taco about it. I'm sorry.
what am I burrito do next? No, that
We
doesn't
gotta
work.
put a shell.
I was trying to didn't work out.
You gotta put a shell around him and we'll be good.
Oh
Let us move on.
Dude, it's a horn player thing, I'm telling you.
It has to be same wavelength.
Oh my
It's
god.
like all we have is SpongeBob puns
Pokemon.
and occasionally missed pitches.
Only occasionally.
Only occasionally. But anyways, my whole shtick this week, I've made. So this week is interesting in the realm of elementary music. We had testing on Monday, so all my classes were 30 minutes. So that was just let's come in the room, play a quick game to remind us of some skills, get out. That's 30 minutes, like the sprint, as we're calling it. I kind of like that schedule, but that's besides the point. I think 30 minutes is like the perfect amount of time. 50 is way too much. 45, pushing it. But I digress. That's above my pay grade. This week we had 3 days in the middle, which means I saw all of my rotations once, and tomorrow is field day, so I don't see anybody. I go do DJ for that. So this week I decided is Pirate Week. I decided that I'm theming this week. I'm gonna do a theme next week too. I gotta kind of figure that out. But this week was Pirate Week. So I know my kids, a lot of them like One Piece. They enjoy. I remember the 4Kids version that was on TV when I was growing up, and I was like, yeah, okay, sure. Let's bring the music of that in. Because I don't know if you've heard the original theme song, We Are. Dudes, it's a bop. Yeah. I watched, who's the guy who breaks down all the music theory for things and is like, oh man.
Oh, Charles Cornell?
Yeah. He broke it down, was like, this is brilliant. Just like figuring out the chords. It's just so much fun. So we watched a video it was called on like a YouTube channel. I think it's called like The First Take or whatever. And it's the original Japanese artist singing the original theme song to One Piece. With some just like live musicians. So you have like a trumpet player, a trombone player, like bassist, like a bunch of cool stuff for them to see. None of like the actual show, but just this guy singing in Japanese. He's 55, like sings just like he did for the most part when the show came out in like 1999. I think it was 1999, or 2000 or something. And to put in perspective, I started kindergarten in the year 2000. So there you go. Then Josh's mouth is like agape. Right?
I was born in 1999.
Oh, there you go. I was 6 in 2000.
1998.
David wins.
But he still sounded the same. There were a few, obviously, as you get older, your voice tends to like compress, and then like the upper notes are hard, the lower notes are harder, with you just don't have as much inflection. But he still sounded great. He doesn't even look 55. He's currently 57 right now. So it was only filmed like 2 years ago. We listened to that. It was a bop. Kids were actually engaged. They were reading the subtitles to what it like translated to. It's talking about, going on a ship where like everybody come aboard. Do you want to be my friend? Like, hey, we're on a cruise, and like it's kind of One Piece vibes, pirate kind of theme. Then I also got to introduce a little bit of the backstory of I'm a drum corps nerd, so I introduced them to the White Whale from Boston Crusaders like 3 years ago, and we talked about a really watered down version of like Captain Ahab getting his leg like taken off by a whale in the least gruesome way possible, and like how he had a peg leg, and like he spent his whole life seeking revenge, trying to find the whale, and kind of wasted his whole life because of it. And like, don't seek revenge, kids. It's not good for you. It's not healthy. And I wanted to say, let revenge be the Lord's, but I couldn't. And it was just a lot of fun to see how interested they were in like, oh, watch this whale. Oh, like the very end of the show where the whale like takes Captain Ahab down. Right. The kids resonated with that, I guess, but we had a good time with that. And I think that was it. White Whale, Pirate Week. It was a great time. The Wellerman, we did a dance to the Wellerman that showed up in the Boston show, and they were like, oh! We didn't watch the whole Boston show. We watched like a clip that had that in there and the very ending. And they were like, oh my gosh, the Wellerman, we just did this. I'm like, yep, it's like I planned it. So it was a lot of fun to do Pirate Week. So I'm excited to do the other themes. And my Christian song of the week is Come As You Are by Crowder. I was sitting here before we started, and I was like, guys, Christian song of the week, I need to figure something out. And they're like throwing out things that I had definitely heard throughout my years growing up. And I just remember this song, and I remember like just jamming out to it in the car, like singing my heart out, just belting, and probably getting a notification on my watch that it was too loud. Just me in the car by myself. So Come As You Are, Crowder, give it a listen if you just want to kind of pour your heart out. It's just in your weaknesses. It's great for this week. Didn't even like plan it that way, but like come as you are in your weaknesses. Let that point you to the Lord, and just be. He wants your presence. He wants you to be in his presence.
And then follow it up with How He Loves, because that would be a great follow-up.
It would be a great follow-up, same artist.
There you go.
All right, David.
All right. This week was I had a recital I played with, and it was on Monday, I believe. Yeah, Monday. So I was playing with a trombone friend, and it went really well. It was a very busy week prior to that, getting it to where we were able to play it. So that added to some stress, but the rehearsals were good, and we both played off each other well, and we knew where to look to when, if a mistake happened, we knew where to come back and what to listen for. So we had those conversations, and it was just great just to play along and just play with a musician and help him finish his degree. And it's always cool to help others finish their degree whenever we're playing with their recitals and stuff like that. Especially since it was on the last day of school, so it's extra cool, special to him finishing the last day of school with his recital.
I was about to say, isn't it also really fun to play in recitals like you're seeing it's foresight? It's not like your degree's on the line for this, but you get to go and just be supportive and have a good time performing.
Yeah.
It's such a fun experience.
Yeah, definitely is. A little bit harder when there's 3 different setups for the percussion setup, but that's just part of being a percussionist, and we just have to deal with it. But it's part of the gig.
You need one of those magic cubes that can like suck things. Like you need Mary Poppins' bag. Here comes the marimba.
I thought about I don't know if you watched Jimmy Neutron growing up, but he had a cube that.
That's what I thought about, and I had no idea where I pulled it from, and now I remember where I pulled it from. It's like look like this, and just put stuff in there.
I'm telling you, horn player brain. I'm telling you.
We grew up on Nickelodeon
and Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Yeah, that was the same day where my car decided to give up and my battery died on my car.
Yeah.
So I had a jump start to the morning, literally.
Dude, we're rubbing off on David. He's making puns.
One of us. One of us.
Just give him a horn.
Start that next week.
Yeah.
Actually, next episode, he's going to try a horn here for the first time ever.
That's what we're replacing book club with. David's horn lesson.
We can call it Crook Club. Horn and joke.
It's a horn joke. Look it up. Oh my god!
I said like all about crooks.
But yeah, it's been a long week because of that. And segueing back into it, yeah, I just had a restart to the week, and Monday morning did not seem like it happened. And so, what happened the week prior? Did I have a performance the week prior? I think I did.
Oh goodness!
I don't.
Man, last week feels like forever ago.
Yeah,
because we didn't record last week in
that's
person.
true.
No, yeah.
So I did
Wind ensemble, right?
Yes, yeah, wind ensemble.
Thank
Wind
God for my
ensemble
memory.
last Tuesday.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
It is crazy what happens when we don't do the recording process.
Right?
It's like we can't. I don't have a week to reflect. Like, what were we doing before this?
Yeah, so that, and then it's just I'm preparing for a summer opportunity, and well, not opportunity, but a summer venture I'm preparing for is Navy Fleet Band auditions.
Yeah,
And so playing a lot more drum set for that, and seeing where the Lord wants to take me with that. Audition videos are due May 17th, and so it's been nice taking a side off of percussion a little bit and focusing only on drum set, because I have missed that quite a bit since I was elementary teaching.
Nice to take a break and rest from some of the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still playing percussion, but just another avenue of it.
Right.
100%.
And my Christian song of the week is Phil Wickham and Crowder. It really is Amazing Grace. It's just another rendition of Amazing Grace. There's a bunch of them out there now, but I've already named a few songs from this Phil Wickham album. It's his newest one. I don't remember the name of the album. Oh, what is it? Song of the Saints. That's the newest album. And he does renditions of old hymns and renditions of classics and some new songs as well. And Phil Wickham's voice has just gotten better and better. And it's crazy. So,
what a common theme tying everything together.
Yeah,
this
right?
podcast, like we could not have planned it.
The Lord works.
The Lord does work, guys. Music's so much fun.
True.
it is.
The Lord, so much fun.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's continue to study both forever.
I agree.
I agree.
All right.
You know what else is fun?
Trivia! I love segues. Maybe eventually we'll own a few of them. But for now, let's do more trivia. Let's end it out. So the first question I asked the boys earlier in a previous segment, it was about money and U.S. history. So, many countries devalue or retire old currency designs. In the United States, what is the oldest year printed on a dollar bill that can still be legally used at a store today? Closest without going older.
Uh-oh.
Flip them and read.
What you got, David?
I put 1846.
I put 1956.
And the winner, the correct year was 1861. So Josh,
no way.
no, Josh still gets it. Yeah.
Dang it.
He went over by like 20 some years.
Oh,
Dang
thank
it.
God.
Do you want to know why? Because this was kind of a trick question.
I'm
The
curious.
U.S. has never retired dollar bills.
There is a,
So
there's
the
a-
first time, the first dollar bill was printed in 1861 because it was cheaper to print paper than it was coins.
Dang,
fake
you were
coins.
close.
Dang it.
So yeah,
I was
especially I think
going
that
off-
was during the
Yeah.
Civil War.
I was thinking of like Civil War times,
Yeah.
Depression times. When was that? And like trying to.
Wow, David was like had the whole
I was
history
trying-
thing down. Like
I just
he-
put a number down. I'll be real. I had no clue. History's not my thing.
and yet Josh got the
I got the
point.
point anyway.
It's not my thing either.
The Lord
honestly.
works.
The
Lord
works. My dad
so
just likes it a lot, so I've heard a lot about it.
I was
you
just super interested because I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, what's the oldest dollar bill maybe in circulation? And it led me to this question. So up next, I should have done coin. We should have gone back to
I used to have the coin collector book with the quarter, and I try to get a quarter for
every state.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Every year,
Smart.
Yeah.
Oh, every year?
Yeah.
The next question. In Generation 9, this is Pokemon. What are the one of the 6 dual typings based on Gen 9 meta that have the total most weaknesses? There's a tie. There's 6 of them. That's the first question. You need to get one of them exactly right in order for it to count. And then bonus question, if you can give me the primary typing that appears 3 times on this list.
Oh, I forgot to put down a bonus question.
Okay, put down the bonus question really quick.
Say it one more time.
Give me the primary typing that appears the majority of these 6, which would technically make it the most weakest primary typing based on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
I can go first.
flip them and
All right.
read. Go ahead, David.
All right. So for the first question, I'm going to say the pairing of grass and bug.
Okay, and what did you say?
I said bug grass. I said the same thing.
Both are incorrect.
Really?
Of the 6, would you like to know the 6?
Wait, what about the bonus question?
You want to do that first?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you say is the primary typing that appears 3 of the 6 times or the most amount of time?
Grass.
I put bug.
David gets the bonus.
Wow.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it is grass.
Grass?
So here, again,
Wow,
this
I
is
did
all
not know
according to
that.
Gemini's knowledge.
Flying fire, ice.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about ice.
Here
Dang.
is the combinations that are the quote unquote have the most weaknesses.
Okay.
The combination of grass, ice, grass, psychic,
I was debating
grass,
that one.
dark,
Grass dark.
psychic rock,
Okay.
fighting rock, and rock dark.
I was debating putting psychic grass. I was debating it. Dang.
This to me screams go fairy or go home.
Yeah.
True. So we're tied up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tie game
We're
going
tied
into
up.
the next week episode number 14.
Yep.
Coming out of the heels of this 5K tomorrow. Exciting. So, tie game,
Tie game.
boys. It's always a pleasure. If you have questions for us listeners, don't forget to leave us a comment on Spotify or anywhere else we can read them, or
Please.
YouTube or wherever. And if you have suggestions for better segues, please leave them, or you can email us. All that's linked in the show notes.
Please
Or-
say the audio is better because Rocky put a lot of time to put this audio together.
Agree, please.
I hope it is, and if it's not, we're going to continue to get better week after week because this, I'm not some audio technician. I'm just trying my best out here. And with that, I'm Rocky,
I'm Josh.
And I'm David.
and this has been
Grace Notes.
Pew, pew, pew.
All right. And amateurs. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. All right.
There was a VHS tape rewinding there.
There's so many things that could go at the end of this episode.